Hello, everybody, and welcome to Streaming Rainbow. Uh, I'm Laura. Hello, and I am joined by my other fellow game masters, David and Sarah. And this is it's been a little belated, but this is our 1 year anniversary celebratory stream. We made it a year. Hooray! We did it.
We did it.
And we celebrated by taking a Friday off because everything fell apart. So that's where we're having it now. So thank you guys for joining for our lovely little thing. Anybody want to say anything about doing a year? I don't know. We didn't plan this part of it.
Oh no, no.
No,
Oh, I want to shout out all the crazy cool people we've met in this last
like
year.
that one.
Like
Max.
yeah, it's been so awesome, right? And at some point along the way, we shifted from straight up AP to hey, this is a cool chance to build a community.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like mission accomplished, guys.
Hell yeah.
Julia.
Yeah. It's very, very cool to be a part of. So thank you all for joining a few crazy kids. And when I say kids, I mean old people. The kid of the founders is not here.
Yeah. Yes, like the three very tired adults are here to play a game.
The ones with achy joints.
We pop in weird ways. It's great. So that being said, let's introduce our game for the stream. This is actually a game that I found at my friendly local game shop. So I saw it and I said, this looks fascinating. And also this would be great for my friends. So we are playing Epitaph by Mark Hobbs. And it's a very interesting little system. It is fully role play, no dice, and very light rules, as we will find out today. And basically, you're telling the story of somebody's life, but a little bit backwards because we're starting when they die, which is, listen, maybe a little morbid, but this is really right on par for this group of people. We love getting into character design and character creation and all that. So just to talk a little bit about the game itself, with Epitaph, it's actually built in 2 sections. We already completed section part 1 as our session 0, and that was to create the bare bones skeleton, pun intended, of our deceased, who is Camilla. We have created Camilla Page, and dearly beloved, we are here to tell the story of Camilla. This Epitaph uses a couple tools in order to create this character and to tell this character story. The first way to do that is with a snapshot, and what we will all go around and basically give a very, very in-depth description of a moment in time for our departed. And then from there, we have a few options. We're going to go as many rounds as we want to go. And for anybody who's watching, if you guys want to put things in the comments and give us ideas or maybe prompts that you would like to see, I would love to see that, especially because I know a couple of the people that are watching are really, really great storytellers as well. So we are going to tell the story of this person through snapshots, through remembrances of other people remembering this person, and also through scenes, which is your pretty traditional role playing. Once we have felt like we have built up this person in a way that we feel happy with or as complete as possible, then we will all choose a person who would have been there at Camilla's funeral and give a eulogy. So that being said, I think we will begin. And I would like to let Sarah start, because Sarah had a very specific. I basically said we were playing this and I was like, let's everyone call dibs, and Sarah was like, in it, done. And me and David went, I have ADHD.
I specifically have ADHD, but also autism. So there is both not enough structure and too many options. This is a nightmare for me. So
truly a nightmare. I am just easily distracted by shiny objects. So go. I guess we'll start with our snapshots and then we'll go from there.
All right, our first snapshot. June 2nd, 1940. A moment in time. We zoom in on 748 Magnolia Trail, St. Paul. A small, unassuming house, very much in the same vein as its neighbors. In the dining room, a Duke Ellington record plays. Earlier, the radio had been talking about news from the war in Europe, but Belinda's mom hadn't liked that, preferring a little jazz to lighten the mood instead of bringing it all down. In the living room, Belinda sits in front of the couch with her dog, Sparks. The curtains are closed, and it's that time of day where the day can just slip in around the corners of the curtains, enough to create little zones of light, capturing the flight of dust motes for a single slow motion moment, a little piece of magic going unnoticed by the inhabitants of the house. In this moment, Belinda has just come to a realization. Her mother has just left the room. You can still just barely smell the Chanel No. 5 still in the air. Belinda has already forgotten what the conversation she was just having was about, because it isn't as important as what is occurring in her mind right now, so it's discarded. She sits there, one foot tapping the floor idly, one hand in Sparks's fur, as the terrier's soulful eyes gaze upward at her. Belinda, in this moment, is lost in the sudden understanding that she isn't like her parents. The 13-year-old feels that she knows her parents fully, can map out their lives from birth to death, a complete painting painted in shades of contented mediocrity. And that contentment, that satisfaction with success, is something so wrong and incomprehensible to her that it makes her question her parentage. That couldn't be her. That could never be her. In this moment, the first of many like it, she feels she has grown beyond her parents. In this moment, the teenage girl begins to plan her escape from this life. The name is still to come, but in later years, she will look back on this moment as the first time she truly felt like Camilla.
I love that. You kind of answered the question. So, guys, after each of these things that we do to build this character, it's open to interpretation, but we like to figure out what does our departed, if the departed could look back just before they died, what do we think? What do you think this moment means to them? And you kind of said it, like, this is the birth of Camilla. So, love that. I guess I'll go next unless David feels very strongly about.
I think chronologically the moment I want is after yours. So
okay. All right.
I think it makes sense for you to go next.
Amazing. So zoom forward. Not very many years. Just a few more years. You see it's spring and they're underneath a blossoming tree, and there you see Belinda, or is it Camilla? Nothing's quite sure yet. In a simple wedding gown. She is fresh-faced and smiling and full of hope, looking at her new husband, Owen. They were our childhood sweethearts, have been childhood sweethearts. And while she knows that she's different, he also knew that he was going to be different with her. And they were full of hope. And you can see the future that these two young people, who are only probably 19 and 20, they're very young people, about ready to start this life and leave this town. Go and just they have so many plans, and this image, they're apart from the wedding crowd, and they are under the trees and just smiling at each other. And this image is just full of, it's just hope for a future that is going to be bigger than anything it can't be contained to even the full state of Minnesota. It's just like they're going to explode out of here. And they know they can get through it because they're together. And yeah, I think that's the moment. And I think that if Camilla looked back at this moment just before she died, it would be with regret and loss. And we will find out why probably in a later scene.
We will jump into the future much further. Camilla is stepping out of 30 Rockefeller Center, finishing another taping of her hit show. A late night advice column come to life, essentially, where she dispenses her wisdom, whether it be young professional women asking for advice, married, older married stay-at-home moms asking how to get out of the house and be a part of this feminist wave that's sweeping the nation. And Camilla is incredibly popular for it. She's well earned her success. She was right to believe she was different. She was right to believe she was special. And she was right to believe that there was something more, something beyond Minnesota that only one city in the world could offer her. And that was New York. And so she's stepping out of this limousine, and her stepping out of the 30 Rockefeller Center into a limousine as her assistant hands her messages, handwritten. And some are from other well-known journalists or media personalities asking for her to appear. She's a favorite of Johnny Carson's. Her wit is sort of unmatched, and people enjoy the bit of tension there between the two. Some are from politicians asking for endorsements or for her to do a profile on them to raise their profile and boost their numbers amongst women, as that is becoming a more and more important voting demographic. And as she sips, never spilling a drop of this double dirty, extra dirty martini in the back of this limo, a particular message at the back as they go hit one of the many potholes of a not well taken care of New York in the 70s, is one from her daughter, is one asking if she'll be able to make it to her graduation. And as Camilla is about to get out, usually sure-footed, slips just a bit and thinks maybe age is catching up to me. And in that moment, she spills just a couple drops of that martini on the message left by her daughter.
What do you think that Camilla would think of this moment right before she died?
I think she would be very proud, because this was the height of her power.
Yeah.
This was the between bestsellers. This was the moment she was the most in demand and wielded the most power she ever had. But like many things in her life, in a world that makes women decide, um, she made bad decisions, and would have some regret about neglecting the family, the little family that she had.
Wow. Quite a picture we've painted of our dearly departed. So, as I was explaining to my friends here before this started, this epitaph is light on rules. One of the only rules is that you start with a snapshot, but now it's free game. So we can choose whatever mode of storytelling we would like to do, but we'll go ahead and continue in the cycle. We don't have to be in chronological order. We can just jump around and choose whatever we want to do. So Sarah, what would you like to explore? A scene, a remembrance, another snapshot? What do you think?
I've got a scene, a telephone conversation between the 25-year-old Camilla in New York and her mother, still back in St. Paul. I will be playing Mother, and David will be playing Camilla.
I completely misprepared for this. I thought I was playing mom. I had my Minnesota mom voice ready to go.
Hey, listen, Camilla can definitely slip back into that when you hear the voice. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I got this.
All right.
Real quick, though, I just want
Darling.
to tell our audience the differences between. So a snapshot is just like we just did, right? A narration from one of us. A remembrance is a third party, usually at the funeral, remembering something about Camilla. And then what is this called again? I can't remember.
So this is just a scene. Yeah.
A scene. Duh. I was like thinking there's a fancy name, and there's not. And then a scene obviously is something we've picked from her life, that is obviously illustrative of her journey.
And I'm going to sit back and enjoy my friends acting.
Darling, I'm so glad I caught you. You know what, with everything, I don't think we've spoken in months.
Yeah, I know, Mom. It's a lot harder here than we thought. We're just in a city where something's always happening. There's a lot of leads, but it's pretty tough to get follow up. I'm glad to hear your voice too. What's up?
Well, you have to tell me how you've been, and how is Owen?
Owen's good. Owen got that job as a copy editor, and he's plugging away, and he's doing the real good work for us.
Oh, that reminds me, your father just got a promotion at the bank.
That's so wonderful.
I tell you, he's so proud. He's just strutting around. He's outside looking at the beans right now.
Yeah. How is the harvest this year?
Oh, it's been all right. The worms have been getting to the crops though. So
yeah, that's good. That's always. Yep.
Are you
something about the soil nitrates or something, right?
Yeah.
You taught me something. Yeah, it's just it's hard, Mom.
Beatrice, what you've got to remember is that God will find a way to bring to you exactly what you need in life, but you've got to be ready to see when it comes.
Yeah, God will provide a way, Mother.
But you have to see it.
I keep my prescription up. So I'll be ready. I'm waiting. I'm hunting. Trying to find that door a little early, maybe, that he's gonna keep open for us.
Well, I don't know. It sounds like things are hard there. Are you sure you don't want to move back?
Yeah, Mom. Well, it's nothing hard or nothing worth having isn't hard to get, you know? I'm just gonna keep my nose down, keep it to the grindstone. Eventually, one of these stories will crack, and then I can maybe write some editorials and but you got to do the beat stuff first. You got to do the Puerto Rican parade and the coverage of the local spelling bee phenom and all this other stuff, and hopefully I can get a big story soon, and can step away from this kind of stuff, and it'll be there. I know that I will make it happen. I know that eventually, through hard work and pure force of will, I'll fucking make it happen.
Language.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Mom.
It's all right. Look,
they're just so gruff out here. It's just a different,
Don't let the big city change you.
I tell you what, Mom, it's changed me a little bit, and I think for the better. You know that you don't have to put mayo in every salad.
I beg your pardon? Are you
just a little bit of olive oil?
My special salads?
A little bit of olive oil, a little bit of vinegar, and it's the best dressing for salad. It's great.
Oh, look who's gone all high society now.
Just some salt and pepper. It's great, Mom. You should try it. You got a big old fresh garden. You can make any kind of salad you want.
Well, I'm sure that I will. And honey, it's Belinda. She's on the phone. He's gone upstairs. Well, I'm so glad to talk to you.
Yeah, yeah. I really got to go too. I gotta. I'm chasing down a lead and hoping this one pans out. Some guy says he's got some news about the mayor's office. We'll see.
Well, if anyone can catch that trail, it's my girl.
Yeah, Mom. I'll catch the trail.
All right. Well,
all right.
You hit him hard, honey.
I will. I love you.
Love you. Bye.
Dad's looking at the beans again.
Dad's looking at the beans.
I'm super curious. So again, with snapshots and with scenes, the whole like after process is like, what do you guys think that the departed feels about this moment? And like if they thought about it right before they died. I'm curious. I want to hear both of your answers because I'm curious if they're similar or.
I think it might be the last time that she felt close to her mother.
Yeah. I was thinking the exact same thing. I didn't know what Sarah 100% had planned. And again, I thought I just must have misread the message. I thought I was going to be the mom. That way she would direct it. So the moment it was on me, I was just kind of like, okay, this is the last like earnest, hardworking, still connected to home, but like showing signs of like sophistication and moving on, and showing a bit of a peek into that condescension, that would grow. That was I think we've been playing together now for almost 3. 3 years of playing together. It's pretty easy to stay on the same page, huh? So
we know each other well. Okay. I'm gonna do a remembrance, I think, to start. And just so the after part of the remembrance is slightly different. So both of you get to ask the character that I'm going to be playing a question. So something to think about. So I'm not doing what I wrote down. I am actually going to do a remembrance from Camilla's first boss in New York, first editor, Oliver Dreyfus. And we see Oliver sitting at a oh my god, I'm such a bad nerd. Jonah Jameson. I was like, what's the Spider-Man editor?
Oh, editor's desk?
Yeah, big editor's desk. Absolutely just ashtray full of ash, smoking just constantly. And you hear reverberating a slam of a door, and you just see this old guy, comb over, cigarette in hand, and he's just like, that Camilla is a fucking ball buster. She was always a fucking ball buster. Don't let that cute little smile fool you, okay? That cute little Minnesota accent. No way. No way. It's all a fucking front. She would eat you alive and smile all the way through it. Now, listen, was it kind of hot? Sure. And that husband of hers, whatever. He was forgettable. This is the nicest thing I could say. But man, I wish I could say that I knew that I had something special when she first joined. But I mean, really, she just looked good in the skirt. But hey, she fucking proved me wrong, didn't she? Just constantly smoking. And yeah, there's this kind of shrug of like, all right. So yeah, that is a little brief look at that first asshole.
What was his name again?
Oliver Dreyfus.
Oliver Dreyfus.
Yeah.
Well, Oliver, how are you different from having worked with Camilla?
I got way less fucking hair, that's for sure. No, I mean, listen. Maybe she taught me a few things about thinking outside of the box. Maybe.
Oliver, when did you realize that she was something special?
Brother, I wish I could tell you that it was right away, but it was as she walked out of my door for the last time. That is a loss I felt profoundly. And so did my paper, which went under. I don't know. Just didn't do well after that. She took all of her shit with her.
Okay. I think, unless you have any other questions.
No.
I think that's mine. And I will also do a remembrance. I am going to do a remembrance from her first husband, which I'm trying. Owen,
yeah.
Her name's Belinda. It's not Camilla. All right. And it shouldn't be Paige. That's my name. And she left and took everything except the kid. So the least she could do is not use my name. but anything for the brand and anything to get a step ahead. And Camilla Page is a lot better than shoot, what's her? I'm sorry. A lot better than Nizak. Pretty tough to pronounce. Yeah, she's. What do you want me to say? Was she brilliant? Yes. Top of the class. Was she charming? Absolutely. There was never anybody important we met that didn't walk away wanting her on their team, in their bed, on their side. Was she a total raging bitch? Till the day she fucking died. She wouldn't even be where she was, both without my name and without all the work I did. Who do you think was paying the bills when she was freelancing? And what did I get? Nothing. Some feminist she is. No relationship with her daughter. No relationship, no friends to speak of. Sure. What's having it all when you go home to nothing? That's the real lesson to take away from Camilla's life.
Owen, you sound pretty bitter, but surely you must have had some good times in the beginning. What was it like? What changed?
It felt like, stay with me here. It felt like we were Frodo and Sam, and we were climbing up, we were working our way through the Shadowlands, up Mount Doom. And then at some point, she just said, the ring matters more. And the fame was more important. I was a footnote in her memoir. I don't think my opinion's any less of her than hers was of mine. I think one of us was just more famous.
If you could, would you go back and change it?
No. But not because of her. Our daughter, Lizzie, is brilliant. She's the best thing that's ever happened to me. And for the 7 or so years from our engagement to marriage to the time she stopped finding warmth in our bed, yeah, that's all worth all that pain, all the embarrassment, moving back to Minnesota. No credit for what she did. It's all worth it. Lizzie's worth it. She got all the best of both of us and none of the bad. Thank God.
Love that.
Channeled my inner incel.
I mean, listen, don't give incels any kind of goodness because he had some points.
Yeah. That's true. This is fun. This is like really cool.
I know. So this is why I was like, this is what I'm gonna play with my friends.
Now I'm thinking of this poor idiot's life too, and I'm thinking of the editor.
I love it. It's so good. This and you
Good.
guys are, by the
Very
way,
good.
like all the crew is very good, but you two in particular, like this is a really good group of people to do this with. We have some really interesting personalities. All right, next round, Sarah.
All right. This is a remembrance. This is an excerpt from an interview that Camilla Page's biographer did with Becky Carmichael, Elizabeth Page's ex-girlfriend, in 1982. So this is going into the book, right? Wow. So what you've got to know about Camilla and Lizzie is they were not close. While we were living together, I only saw Camilla once, some legal thing she needed to sign. And it was a weird encounter, I'll tell you that. They were smiling at each other and chatting politely, but it was like a business meeting with a stranger, or like meeting an aunt you've heard about but never met before. All very surface level niceness, no genuine connection, you know? Lizzie never really talked about her mom either. I mean, it was pretty weird for me. I'm really close with my parents and my siblings, and we talk all the time, but Lizzie was always disinterested in them too. I mean, she tried for me. I'm not saying she was unpleasant or anything, but it was always something forced, something she had to remember to take an interest in. And it made me wonder, you know? It made me wonder what kind of upbringing could do that, could make the whole concept of family something strange and other. But Lizzie wasn't exactly talkative about her childhood either, as I'm sure you guessed, so I don't have the answer to that question. Just theories. I think the theory that I'm fondest of is that Camilla provided for her child mainly by proxy, and that little Lizzie was raised with the care and effort of hired help, nannies and cooks and the like, and so only learned to form bonds with those people who were essentially her subordinates. I like that theory so much because it explains a lot about Lizzie's ability to form relationships, and because it means she did grow up with some sort of love. All the alternative theories are a lot more lonely. Like I said, she never really talked about her mom or growing up, but you pick up things, you know, between the lines over time. So even though I only met her the once, I can tell you that Camilla Page is someone who values her own independence, her own agency above everything else. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, I'm all for girl power, but it makes for some pretty rough parenting. Maybe that's not in line with the picture you're trying to paint in your book, but it's the truth.
That's an interesting picture for sure.
So that's Becky.
Becky. Well, Becky, you didn't mention Lizzie's relationship with her dad. So did her dad just have nothing to do with it? Was it all Camilla's fault?
Look, if her dad was involved with her growing up, it was in, you know, ways that don't show up much. Like her mom was always looming over. Like she didn't talk about her, but there was always the presence, you know? But with her dad, it was like he just wasn't part of the equation. Never knew what to make of that.
Becky, from the image of Camilla, I know you don't know the person, but from the facade, the persona that the public knows and loves so much, what similarities do you see in Lizzie and Camilla?
When Lizzie got onto an idea, she was like a dog with a toy, you know, where she's got it and you can't pull her away. There's nothing that she won't do to hold on to it. And I think that's that is reflected a lot in the way that Camilla faced life, and you can see it in all the the attitude that she portrayed in her public life. Just that inability to let go of something. You have to follow it to its completion, and Lizzie was like that too, and that was one of the things I loved about her, honestly.
You guys need to fucking stop. You're gonna make me cry. It's assault.
Well, hey, let's do
cyberbullying. You're cyberbullying me.
Let's do something a little bit more lighthearted. Let's do a talk show interview with the second husband. I will put it up to you guys, whoever wants to play. It could be all three of us, because it could be a talk show host and his sidekick and Frank. It could be whatever. So does anybody feel strongly about being any of those?
I feel like roles? I played the scumbags the best. That's like my niche in Streaming Rainbow. I'm not super confident in a lot of things I do well, but people consistently are like, that character fucking sucks and I hate them and they should die.
Hey guys, check out Best Last Summer. There's a few of them in there.
Yeah. I also dead ass. You guys really wanted to kill that hillbilly werewolf.
Yeah, he sucked. Yeah. Me specifically wanted to kill that werewolf real bad. Anyway, yeah. So do you want to?
I'll play the husband.
Yeah. Sarah, do you want to join in? Do you want to be?
I'll speak out.
You say okay. All right. So I will be the interviewer. And welcome back. That was a great ad for dish soap. We keep it clean here. And joining us is renowned novelist and satirist, whatever that means, Frank Stevenson. Frank, welcome.
Hey, how's it going? How's it going, Johnny?
It's great. Now, listen, you know what we got to ask first. We got to ask, how you feeling about your ex's big show? She's blowing up.
Which one?
Oh, don't play coy. Call Camilla.
Johnny, you know how many exes I have. You know how many women I've made in this town. All flashes in the pan.
Well, this is a pretty bright flash, that Camilla Page.
Yeah. Well, she is a firecracker.
Yeah, so we've heard. We saw it on the front page.
Yeah, well, I could tell you more stories, but I don't think you can handle the FCC fines.
That's true, guys. No, let's keep it clean here. Like I said,
I'm joking. I know she's got this image. She's this women power. So yeah, I don't want to undermine that.
So I guess what I'm hearing is she was not a great housewife. Didn't keep a good house.
As far as wifely duties, there were some she was very good at, but it was pretty hard to find a clean plate. I'll tell you that much.
He's talking about the laundry, of course.
Yeah, the laundry is always fresh. Fresh laundry every day. Linen always folded, ready for the guests.
Well, listen, Frank, you both are writers. You both do investigative work, I guess. What did you give her any tips? What'd she learn from you, the great master?
Well, she's doing TV now, so I think she learned to get out of the writing game.
Are you saying she wasn't good?
Yeah, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying those that can do, and those that can't talk about it. No offense.
Well, I mean, numbers weren't so great on your last book, buddy.
Yeah, well, sometimes Shakespeare died in squalor. Sometimes it takes time for the public to appreciate a genius.
You heard it here first. New York's own Shakespeare, Frank Stevenson. Frankie, thank you so much. and we'll be back with a musical guest, some fucking guy. I don't know. Back to you.
Some fucking guy.
Some fucking
I
guy.
love
The
that.
actual band name is Some Fucking Guy.
Hey guys, this is a great band.
It's a gay punk band.
I just, because this is just a scene, I just love the idea of Camilla watching this, like, fucking seething, just so mad at this chauvinist, like, what was I fucking thinking?
But that's still like, that's the whole thing, right? Camilla's whole life is the adjacency to power and what that costs her morals and what that costs her personally.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually gonna say me and Laura I wanted to do a fight between the second husband and Camilla, but I will pivot that since we just
Hey, listen, we'll come back to it. We can do
touched.
so many rounds.
We'll circle back.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Listen, guys,
and
fun
we're not at
fact,
work, but
David
we'll
and
circle
I
back.
are so good at fighting as a couple.
Enough that many people who watched us play have been like, is everything okay? To both of us.
Yeah.
There's not any hidden hatred?
We genuinely love each other.
Yes.
Anyway. Continue.
Just a couple passionate nerds. So in that case, yeah, because again, ironically enough, the other thing I was thinking of was a remembrance for Lizzie. So this is why I should have wrote down what I was gonna do.
Should have dibsed.
Yeah, I should have dibsed. Instead,
I did the interview.
Yeah. Instead, I am gonna ask Sarah this time. Could you be? I guess I'll give you the choice. You could be Camilla or Lizzie, and it's gonna be a conversation towards the end.
Okay. I'll go ahead. I don't want to be Camilla. I'll be Lizzie. You stay Camilla.
Okay. Just to give you or I guess, no, it's easier now. Okay, perfect. That's the easier way. Okay. So I'm calling you. Ring, 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 ring. It's like 2005.
Right.
So you're gonna call on your cell phone.
Yeah, I think it takes a while to pick up because she's like, "Mom, what the hell? Mom, are you okay?"
Oh, hey, darling. Yes, I'm all right. Why am I doing a British accent? I need to do like Moira Rose. That's who Camilla sounds like in my head. Yes. There is a bit of that's still British. I'm just gonna talk myself. Okay. Yeah. Hello, darling. I'm happy to get a hold of you. I need a bit of information.
Okay.
Don't worry. It's not
just get it out. Tell me what you're calling about.
Right.
Just put it out there. Just put it out there, Mom.
All right. I'm putting together my will. In my estate. It's just, your stepfather died a couple of years ago. It's just, it is necessary. I need your social security number and your birth date, and I can make sure you get what is yours.
I'm sorry, did you just ask for my birth date?
What? No, but if you want to just send everything, like your social, your full, I know your full legal name, birth date, kids, all that stuff, and I can make sure everybody. You have kids, right?
No, Mom, I don't have kids. I'm a lesbian.
swore you adopted.
No. We thought about it.
We did have a conversation about adoption.
Probably. Okay. Yeah, I can get you that information, Mom.
Yes. My lawyer, I don't know his name. Will contact you and make sure everything. So how are you? You still in New York?
Everything is doing great, Mom.
I saw you won some award recently, some sort of academic. Still,
Yeah. It's nothing special, but it was big to me. My art
that's
was
wonderful.
featured in a magazine, so that was.
Well, that's
I
great.
know that for you that's small potatoes, but for me that was
No. That's a great first step, and then you turn that into another article, and then maybe you have a mainstay in the magazine, and then you turn that into a segment on a show. I can call my
stop,
old agent.
Mom. You always do this. Jesus, it doesn't have to be a step on the ladder. Okay, I understand that your life is a ladder, right? Where you have to keep climbing. That's not my life. Okay, I want to do my art, and I want to live my life with my significant other, and
How
I don't
are
have to
they?
climb. Okay, I don't have to be climbing all the time.
Sorry, I just worked very hard my whole life and thought maybe if you wanted, I could have something to give you. But if I am inconveniencing you, I
You're
will
not.
let you get back to your partner.
You're not inconveniencing me, Mom. I'm
Mhm.
sorry. It's been a long week. Okay, I'm sorry. How have you been? How are you now that you've stopped? You know what you were doing. How have you been?
I'm bored. Just nobody's fun in New York anymore. Nobody smokes anymore. I can't even smoke in the building. I can only smoke in my own apartment. I hate this city.
Yeah, that's
It's
the
too
health code.
clean. What?
It's the health codes. You're not supposed to. It's bad for you.
Well, yeah, but there was health codes back then too. But everybody knows smoking's cool, so you just did it. There's no joie de vivre in this city anymore. It's too sanitized. I hate that Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah, everybody hates Rudy Giuliani, Mom.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, right? You were there for 9/11. Cool. When is that gonna go away? You get right on that forever. Okay, so some ugly buildings fell down.
Oh my God, Mom. Okay. Yeah,
I'm just
I
saying, I
will.
have a lot of Arab friends and I love them and they're great. I don't. What's the big deal?
Yeah,
We've been
yeah.
bombing the shit out of them for 30 years.
You know what? That's you make a good point.
You know what?
But
I'm gonna call Regis tomorrow on a show. We're gonna talk about this. We've
oh,
got
that's great.
and then I'll tell him there's a hot new artist in the magazine article.
Oh God.
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. I'm just joking.
Oh, thank you.
We just had that conversation.
Right. Yeah.
All right. I do have to go though. I'm having drinks in a little bit. Tell your partner I give them my love.
I love you, Mom.
I love you too, Elizabeth. I'll try to talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
I got whiplash. 9/11 Arab comments to a truly heartfelt moment.
What does an 80-year-old in 2004 think?
My bitching. Yeah, absolutely. Oh God. Yeah, what do you think that moment was thinking, like the like right before Camilla passes, like what if she thought back to that phone conversation?
I think this was another line. I think this is exactly the kind of conversation Camilla and Elizabeth or Lizzie had every 3 to 5 years. And it was another missed, probably the last missed moment where, despite how tone deaf, distant, just generally shitty her mom was to her, Lizzie tried to be the bigger person, and clearly like reached out, and Camilla just didn't follow through. Because then it was another book tour or another big story or another fling in Vegas or Atlantic City or whatever, right? And then it was, well, it's been like a week and I was supposed to call her. So I'm like, it's awkward. So I'll let a little more time go. And then it's been like 2 or 3 weeks. And then it's like, well, now it's just too far.
Yeah.
And I think that was probably the last call, missing the last call to have a chance.
Yeah, I think that they needed excuses to talk to each other because that's the only thing that would bridge the distance was to have an excuse. And that was the final excuse.
Yeah. I was not sure if you were going to say I love you back. Like I was like waiting because I've had that conversation and I did not get the like I could have gone either way.
Yeah, I was deciding in the moment, and I think that's the thing, right? I don't necessarily think Camilla's a sympathetic character, but I think there is a nugget or a layer down there, in maybe a different world and maybe a different timeline. She didn't end up like this.
Yeah.
But that bitch made bad choices, so she sucks.
I took a calculated risk. Unfortunately, I'm bad at math. Yeah.
Literally my whole life.
Yeah. All right, Sarah, we're out of your dibses. So what do you?
Yeah, I ran out of dibs.
So now you get to just it's chaos. What do you want to do?
Freelancing. Pew, pew, pew.
Okay. So I'm gonna do another moment. What are they called again?
Snapshot. Just that first one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a snapshot. This is towards where retirement is coming around the corner for Camilla. But she doesn't see that yet. She's still driving full force. And she's out and about one day in the shops. She's thinking of getting herself a new hat, and she's wearing the loveliest green dress that is perfect for her figure. It is absolutely what is on the shelves of the most expensive stores in New York right now. And she looks fantastic. She is at the top of her game. She feels absolutely pumped, like, because to her, in this moment, her life is still at its peak. She hasn't yet realized that it's declining, that she's in the downward slope of her life now. And she is out, and a young woman opens the door for her to the shop. and she is so gracious. She's thinking this young woman doesn't even realize when she looks back, she'll realize it's me, it's Camilla. And I've been such a inspiration to women, especially here in New York, that this is going to be a big moment for her. And the woman looks back and she seems to think for a moment, but then she shrugs and turns away. And Camilla, in that moment, for possibly the first time, feels mortality, because it's not the age of her body that dwindles for her. It's her reputation, that it has a crack in it. Someone didn't realize it was her. Someone didn't care. And in this moment, that's the first real crack in her armor before a long period of decline.
That sucks. I mean,
I think you also answered the questions. So
yeah, you're very good at that.
yeah.
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 That is when it begins.
I would like to keep up the snapshot momentum. So mine will be just a couple years after that.
Yeah.
It's the like mid 80s. Or no, wait, sorry, let me get the timeline right. It's like the late 80s, early 90s, right? The beginning of the 80s, early 90s. Ratings have started to dip more and more. Things are looking they got moved back like a time slot at a prime time, but still in the air, still in network television. And she's trying to get a newly single Donald Trump to come and give a salacious interview about being a bachelor in New York, and is hoping to have an easy mark that she could easily outsmart and get some maybe get back in the limelight, have some good brownie points, both in the city and score some headlines nationally. She's sitting in her office in the studio. Has to do a lot more work now. A lot of those assistants, a lot of the producers, the budget's been cut. So she's trying to write up an outline for the week, and a young production manager asked to speak with her. A young woman, because of course Camilla is known for hiring women in the industry, being more progressive. And his production manager says, "Hey, there has been an issue with one of the sound technicians harassing one of the girls. That there hasn't been anything physical, that there hasn't been any like forced cornering or even pinching, but just wolf whistles every once in a while and long stares and inappropriate comments." Camilla looks up, immediately thinks to fire him, goes to look up his name, and sees that this is the nephew of an executive. This is someone who got a job as a start. And Camilla sits with a termination notice on her desk, filled out, and it's 10 o'clock at night, getting ready for the internal mail to go through. The last NBC in-house messenger is coming through to collect any paperwork that's going to go anywhere else. And she's got the envelope sent up. She's got the envelope sitting there, ready to seal. And all she has to do is drop it in her outbox. And instead drops it in the shredder as she walks out for the night.
Yeah. What do you think she would think of this moment, looking back on it?
I think this is the first moment where she was truly a villain. I think everything up to here could be attributed to negligence or bad luck or misconstruing or misinterpretation. A lot of judgment calls, right? Or a lot of like just bad luck. But this was the first time she made it like a conscious choice to preserve her own safety over what she stated her ideals to be.
Yeah. I think I will also go with a snapshot, but I'm going to go back to the beginning before everything went wrong. And we see a younger girl, not yet married, so free and furiously writing away at her desk. And it kind of like zooms in to this scathing article about how unfair it has been for women post World War. All of these, she's had to watch her Camilla, just so everybody knows, we did come up with a time frame for our darling Camilla. She was born in 1927. She lived through some real shit. And she, growing up in the Midwest, got to see her mother and her family like go in and work in factories, and suddenly she's seeing all of that they're getting pushed back into the kitchens and all of it. So there's this like, again, this scathing just indictment against like, this is so unfair. This is like, we have just as much worth and we've shown it, and all these things. And as she like signs off, like writes the last flourish, she sits back and just goes, I'm going to make a difference. Like, this is it. This is it. And then she like, just quietly towards this bullshit won't stand. But she says quietly because she's in her parents' house and they can't know she swears. Never, ever. But you see this young woman who she's on the cusp of becoming this person that she's about to become, and just that righteous anger that only teenage girls can have, no matter what era they're from. And she just, I think she would look back on this with absolutely rose-colored glasses, which she would look back on that with the most like cinematic, like, this is this is who I am, and this is look what I've done with it. Like she would totally revisionist history, like be, you know, right before she dies, she's like, yeah, that's how I started off, and look at all the good I've done. I don't think I think she's probably rewritten that moment in her head and in books so many times that she doesn't actually know what's real about that moment anymore. But yeah. But that's where it started. That was the seed. Where she taking what Sarah started with of like she knew she was different and knew that she was going to be something more, and then realizing, yeah, this is the vehicle. This is the platform.
Okay. Yeah.
We just keep going. Keep doing whatever you want to do.
I can't think of anything.
Oh no!
I don't mind jumping in. I have something that actually follows a little bit along that. But I do need, since you've already done a remembrance as him, I would like you to be her first editor.
Okay.
And so this is a 25-year-old. So 19. Or no, we'll jump even a little further. Because that was like right when she first got there. Right. We'll do an early 30s. Camilla.
Okay.
And the story that she has broken, this is in the late 60s. The story she has broken is that the New York senator who has opposed abortion legalization is found to have paid for one for a mistress. Prior to this, right, like there's a reason there's not a million stories on John F. Kennedy's many affairs, right? Prior to this, in the 60s and 50s, there was a bit of a handshake agreement between journalists and politicians that personal stuff that was salacious was sort of off limits. And that is the stand that her editor is taking. And Camilla's is, this is no longer personal. This is political. And the voters deserve to know what he's doing with the money that they pay him. What's the editor's name again? Sorry.
Oliver,
we have to publish this story. I don't care about some old handshake deal between good old boys. This is news.
No, this is not news. This is nothing new. And if you post this, our reputation is in the garbage, and we won't be able to, you won't have a job anymore because we won't have a paper anymore.
If we publish this, Oliver, you know just as much as I do that women are the fastest growing market of any demographic in the United States. Between purchasing power and growth, it far surpasses anything. And the women of New York State deserve to know what their piece of shit senator is doing with the money that we pay his checks for. And it will not sink us. It will propel us forward into the future.
All right. It's what, listen, it's what their husbands' checks are paying for, and their husbands don't want to hear about this.
Do I not get paid? I'm sorry. Do I need to go get my check stub? Do I need to show the taxes withheld? Is that not what's going on here?
Listen, you care. Great. But no one else is going to care. No one wants to hear. He looks so good. Look at him in his suit.
You keep saying, listen, and you're the one who needs to shut that old mouth and listen to the people in the streets and listen to the cries of a generation of women who know what it's like to go do a hard day's work and support the war machine that want us that war. And they don't want to go back to baking goods and being told what they have to do by old geezers who are just going to die of throat cancer because they won't go 1 second of the day without a goddamn cigar in their mouth.
Cagney.
And if you won't publish this, I'm going to walk out this door and I'll find someone who will.
Good luck, girl. You will find no one who will publish this because that is how the world works. And it'll blow over and just don't bother. No one gives a shit.
You could take this as my 2 minutes notice. I'm going to pack my desk. And I guarantee you, watching me walk out that door is going to be the biggest regret of your entire professional life.
I sincerely doubt it. And also, the shit in your desk belongs to us. So you're free to go.
And then she slams the door and walks out.
And that was when... Fuck that guy. JFK. He's so clean cut.
He's a handsome man. That Kennedy jaw is undefeated.
Do you want to do the fight with Frank or no?
I'm always down to fight.
Fight.
Let's go. All right. Who's Frank? Who's Camilla?
Ooh. Gender swap?
I mean,
if I'm gonna be Camilla, I need like 30 seconds. I'm not a real actor, but it's like a hard brain shift.
I can be Camilla. Yeah, you were already asshole Frank. I can be Camilla.
Okay. All right.
What were you thinking?
I think we're coming back. I think we're coming to our brownstone in Brooklyn. No, they don't live in a brownstone in Brooklyn. This is the 70s. They live in a townhouse in Manhattan. No, a penthouse in Manhattan. One of those like in such an old and high-rise building that they have their own special key for the elevator that just goes to their suite. And I think we're coming back from like the Hugo Awards or the Peabodys or some sort of like journalistic or writing award ceremony. And I think Frank has found there was somebody probably mentioned something offhand to Camilla about you should observe the promising new career of, I don't know, let's call her Lois. That's a famous female reporter I know. That's nonfiction, so we don't have to disparage anybody's image. You should observe the promising new career of Lois. Blah blah blah. Right, and it was very clearly one of those like rich people subtext of Frank is fucking this young girl. And so far out of the bounds of what is expected that it's like to the point of disrespect, right? Of like it's like in the city affair, right? No more like Atlantic City or Jersey or going out of the it is at this point it is a slap in the face to Camilla. So I think this is Camilla confronting him as they like exit the elevator. I'm telling you, it is nothing but a professional relationship. She asked me for some advice. She asked to for my perspective and for me to go over a few things. So I did. Should I not help women?
Oh, help women? Did she help you on her knees? Is that what fucking happened?
Oh, of course, that's where you go. That's
Yeah.
Out there in public, it's all leader of the front, burn the bras, and then the moment you get behind closed doors, every girl's the slut, every girl's a hussy, every girl's just trying to take your spot.
Not every girl's a slut.
Same old
just
story.
the ones that you're fucking. Just the ones that you are fucking, Frank.
Does that include
Come
you?
on. Tell me the last time we have done anything.
Have you been drinking that much you can't remember?
Well, I have to drink just to deal with the disappointment of the experience.
Well, you got me there.
I can't. She is a fucking child, and it's here. Right here. Why can't you just take your shit somewhere else?
I don't even know what you're talking
Hamptons.
about. Have you seen me?
Unfortunately, yeah. Okay, you can't do this shit to me. Not here. Why can't you be like every other dickhead, asshole, worthless man and take it away? Take it out of the city. If you're gonna fuck around, at least have some fucking respect about it. I'm not stupid, Frank.
You could have fooled me. Camilla, there's constant talk of respect from you. And in that respect as it flows out of that shithole mouth of yours, you ever seem to think it should go both ways. You always think respect is about you. It's always about your image and your time and what people are going to think of you. And what is this going to do to your career and your writing? And that's not my fucking concern. I don't know if you remember whose name is on this lease, but it's not Camilla or Belinda. So as long as you want to stay here, you can. But I'm going to live the life that I've earned and I deserve. And you can happily stay here and enjoy the perks that comes with being in my orbit. Or you can walk that pretty little sagging ass out of this penthouse and go find someone else to latch onto.
Just be honest for the first fucking time in your pathetic life. You're fucking her.
Yes, Camilla, I am. Just like I cheated on my last ex-wife with you. Just like I'm going to cheat on Lois with another woman who's probably in college right now. And I'll get to keep doing that until my dick doesn't work. And then I'll take some pills and I'll keep doing it for another 10 years until my brain has so many holes in it, I don't know my own fucking name. Because that's the way the world is.
Great. Good news. Perfect. You enjoy your syphilis and all of that. And I'm going to go.
Whatever I got, you got, honey.
Your orbit is very, very rapidly decreasing.
But that interest is compounding. So even if the fame goes away, I still got the money. And that's all you broads ever interested in.
Well, it's the only thing worthwhile about you. So go fuck yourself. And yeah. Also, I make more than you. Goodbye. I hate Frank. We all hate Frank here.
I have a particular talent. I was channeling some real dark stuff there.
That was so mild for our fights. We were so well behaved.
Well, because that was like the end, right? That was like
we don't fucking care anymore.
Yeah, that was logistical.
What can we say? Okay, so the way that Epitaph works, again, very light on rules. As you've seen, we've had fun just like making up stories about Camilla. Once we feel like we've kind of run our course for little stories, whether they be snapshots, remembrances, or scenes, we will all take a moment to choose somebody who would be at Camilla's funeral and give a eulogy. Yeah, I guess we'll just go back in order again. So Sarah, who would you like to give a eulogy for Camilla? Who yes, date of death for Camilla. She died at 82 in the year of our Lord 2009 in New York City.
Enough time to see an Arab be president. That's what she thought.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course she did. So I'm going to take us back to Owen. At the funeral here. So if we're thinking about it, this is, she was 82 when she died. Owen's about the same age, so he's an old fellas getting up behind the podium, struggling a little bit. Hello, my name is Owen Page, and for those of you who don't know me, I was Camilla's first husband. First. Page. Remember it. On this somber occasion, I would like to say a few words about the Camilla I knew. The Belinda I knew. Camilla was always a firecracker, wasn't she? In her younger days, that meant chasing every journalistic lead she got the scent of. I could always tell when she was hot on the trail of something because she'd be up late. She wasn't always working the story when she was up late, at least not outwardly. I remember one night, I came into the kitchen and she was baking chocolate chip cookies. Best damn cookies I ever had, by the way. And I asked her why she was still up. Well, took her a minute to answer. And as she came up with something to say, I watched her brain work. And it was beautiful. It was like the sun coming up. She was like that. She'd be in her own head, working while outwardly doing something else. And I was never jealous. They'll say that's not true. They'll say I was jealous of her work, of how it pulled her so often into her own world and away from me. But how could I ever be jealous of that? That's the part of her that was on fire. That was the part I fell in love with in the first place. But no, I wasn't jealous of her work. I just needed more of her. We were partners at first. Did you know that? Me and Camilla, partners. Can you imagine that? Her being partners with someone? But she outgrew me. Things I could do for her, she learned to do for herself. And then, well, she just didn't need me anymore. I became something extraneous, not needed, not especially wanted, just fucking there. And I couldn't handle that. And I tried. Oh, I tried to get back her attention, her passion, but her passion was never for me. It was never for any of us. Not permanently, anyway. Camilla's sun shone for her own benefit, and we all know it. And we all knew it at the time, however much we may have tried to fool ourselves. And that's why I don't feel sorry for myself. I don't feel sorry for any of us, except Lizzie, who deserved better. Camilla was who she was, and we who were able to accept who she was for however long it took her to become something else, we got to warm ourselves in her light for a time. That amazing light that could only be a gift from God. Then our time would come to an end and leave us with just the memory of what we once got to be a witness to. And I don't know about you all, but no matter how many goddamn things that woman did that drove me up the wall, I'll be grateful for my time with her until I leave this world. Thank you.
Good job, Owen.
Do you want me to go, or do you want to go, or
Do you have do you have anybody that you're feeling really strongly about?
I have a couple I could go to. That's why I was gonna let you go for it. I was thinking Lizzie.
Yeah.
But I was also thinking she should probably go last.
Yeah. You can go last then. You can do Lizzie. So
well, I guess it just depends who you're doing though, right? Are you gonna do the rival?
That'd be very funny. No, I was actually thinking of doing Camilla's last assistant.
That was one of the others I was thinking of doing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool. We all are a hive mind here. We can't stop it.
Yeah,
yes.
I think it makes sense to finish with Lizzie instead of.
Yeah, for sure. Right. So up steps a Mousy. She's, she's fairly young. Little button down cardigan. She's very well put together, but very modest and quiet. Fairly almost forgettable in the grandeur of this funeral, which has just is a she and her name is Sarah, and Sarah. No, I didn't do. Sarah was the thing, and I didn't think about Sarah. But her name is Sarah because that's a very good name for this young woman who was given very, very specific instructions on how every moment of this day was going to go. Just flowers just exploding everywhere, just so many like crazy blooms, just a hothouse of everything. In fact, like the smell of all these flowers is almost overpowering, and on the just over the line of too much, which is truly how Camilla lived her life. And she steps up and clears her throat. Hello, I'm Sarah. I was with Miss Page for the last few years. Some of you might know me. Miss Page was a very interesting person, but she was always very kind to me. She would always take time to read my work and give me feedback and remind me that I don't have to. I'm sorry. I I can be strong, and my voice is important to be heard. And it, there's a very big loss in this world. I'm so sorry. I'm so nervous. This is too many people looking at me. Um, I'm so sorry for um, Lizzie. I'm sorry for your loss. And Camilla Page will never be forgotten, ever. She is in the annals of history, and well, she changed so many lives. And yeah, thank you. And she kind of steps away, and she walks in front of the casket, because I can imagine this Camilla also having so much work done that it just, she looks pristine because she is mostly plastic surgery by the end of it. And she takes a moment and leans down, and really no one can hear it, but everyone can see her lips moving as she basically says, I know you weren't perfect, and you did a lot of things wrong, but thank you for seeing something in me. Okay. And that's the last thing she says as she goes to sit, dry eyes, but she also has a look of somebody who has grieved in private. Like, she's not going to be visibly grieving in front of a group of people for her own personal reasons, and also because I don't think her employer necessarily approved of that. So that is her assistant, Sarah.
Well, how do I follow that up? Thank you all for coming, everybody. For those that don't know, I'm Lizzie, Elizabeth Page. I am. I am. I don't know. Camilla's daughter, lone child. And I apologize. I am not the orator my mother was, and after all the fabulous things said and written in obituaries and interviews and columns these last few weeks, what else is there left to say about Camilla that has not been said already? But I'll try. You know that famous saying of never meet your heroes. And then the sort of unspoken part is because you'll always be disappointed. What does it mean when your hero is your mother? I think by the look of shock I've seen on some of her oldest friends in this room, and I'm pretty sure I've seen, and those of you who need to adjust your hearing aids who've loudly said, I didn't know she had a daughter. It's probably not shocking that me and Camilla were never close. But yet, I owe so much to her, as do so many women here. And not just women. It's pretty difficult to be a young lesbian in New York and people find out your mother is Camilla Page and then be so thankful for the coverage of the Stonewall riots and her never-ending support for the LGBT community as the years passed on. And then as women, her ceaseless reporting and editorializing and speeches and marching for women's reproductive rights and financial independence. I cannot find a liberal, left-leaning lesbian who does not adore my own mother. And I can't even tell you what her favorite color was. Although gold seems to be pretty in the running. And maybe that's what she was fighting for. The right for women to be complicated. To be heroes. And to have faults. And I think every day for the last 30-something years, at every graduation she missed, and at every birthday, I got a card 2 weeks late, usually with a pretty good sized check in it. And at every Christmas, I inevitably got the call that she wasn't going to be able to make it. How do you weigh that against inspiring a generation of women? How do you weigh that against all the confrontational interviews she held, holding those in power to account? What is the weight of one sad little girl and her sparsely attended art exhibitions versus arguably the most influential woman of the latter half of the 20th century? I don't know. But I do know and I don't know how she weighed that. But I do know that regardless of her intentions and regardless of the byproducts of how my father said those of us who knew what they were getting into, the price they paid for that, the one thing my mom wanted more than anything was to be remembered, and she will. As you all stand here as testament. So go home, pour yourself a martini, and put on a Call Camilla rerun. I really need the syndication check. Thank you.
So that is Epitaph. To Epitaph. So I know that when I brought this to my fellow players, there was a lot of like, wait, what? So now that we've done it, what do we think?
It's great. I love it. I do think it's worth doing one with like maybe 2 more people at most, and then 2 doing both. I think I see the vision now of doing both parts at the same time, like doing it in one session.
Yeah,
I was with you at first that like, oh yeah, you should definitely break that apart. But no, I'm with it.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, this wasn't supposed to be such a long break between between the first and second parts. But yeah, the great thing about this is that I mean, we chose the setting. We chose like we could have gone full fantasy, like you could even like your departed could be an animal. Like we could have done somebody's dog. Like it's crazy. So yeah, but yeah, guys, I really recommend it. It's especially I love the storytelling aspects of things. Like I don't necessarily like we have done so much D&D. Like which I mean that's Skillington. I love it, you know, like obviously it's my bread and butter, but like it's so nice to do something that's like no dice. Like let's just like do the thing that we love doing. So, I don't know. Sarah, what are your thoughts?
I love this game. I'm like at first, like during part 1, I felt kind of lost, like trying to fill in something that just didn't have a shape. But once we had that shape, like, oh yeah, this is what I want to do, and I want to do this, and I want to do this. That's why I rushed to dibs, because I had all these things that I was like, okay, this is mine. This is mine.
Well, no, that's the great part. Like, I love the I love that you had dibs. I love that there were things that you were like, because that means that I could fill in, because for me, everything is so nebulous. So it is like, as you know, the great thing is that we all, like, as David said, we have all been playing together for long enough that we were all kind of like wanting to touch on the exact same. We're like, we know our points, we know our story points. Also, yeah, this is a great game to play at home. Like, so they have a whole process. Like, again, get this book. It's really, really good. It's tiny. Like, it's a really, really accessible thing, which is good considering that it's a fairly esoteric concept. But yeah, it's you can like draw a map, and there's all these visuals that you can go to that we were all working off of a Google document, which you guys don't see here. So but yeah, this would be interesting. I love how versatile this is, and like how it can just be something completely different every single time, and depending on who you're playing with too. So you're muted, David.
I loved this game too. As I mean, obviously we miss you, Cameron, and Bastion, and our unofficials. Maybe he's gonna be as well part of the team, Courtney. But it's like so. It's so illustrative of the dynamics that each of us take, right? Which is like Sarah is the prepper. Sarah has the like opening, like scene setting paragraphs to her DMing style, and has these like pre-written monologues and these like very, very loves the structure. And I am sort of the opposite of like freewheeling and dealing, right? And like I'm a riffer. I always joke with people that I'm a very good editor who's desperately trying to be an okay writer. And so it's easier for me to be like, ooh, that's good, and then this, right?
Yeah.
And see the vision that way. And I think Lara is like right in between, right? Lara had some things dibs that she wanted to do, but there wasn't the same like pre-written structure. And it was there's this like, and it creates this like really wonderful synergy with you people that I've so enjoyed. And it was just really great to see that tonight in such a fun game that was also just devastating.
Yeah, guys, we didn't choose some lighthearted thing. We were like, no. Let's try to make a really, like, truly in that session 0 when we were creating Camilla, Like we were all by the end of it, like, do we like this person? Like, do we even want to tell this person?
At the end of it, it was like the middle.
Fuck her.
We
Like,
got to we got to like a fork in the road where we were like, wait, this is a bad person, huh? And we're like, yeah.
Do we need to change? Like, do we want it? Like, is this entertaining? Which, I mean, listen, there's a whole bunch of other stuff. Like, there was, you know, there's a frenemy situation. Like, there's a billion different avenues that we could have gone down, which is, again, the thing that is so cool about this. So, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for everyone who watches this after the fact, because again, it's a great little game. I recommend going and finding it.
Do we have the creator? Can we shout him out? Give him a
so Mark Hobbs.
Description. Mark Hobbs, check it out.
That's cute. It's less than 3 games. It's got a little heart games. That's there. I'll put it in the little description.
I love that.
Love it. And if you want something much more action-packed and exciting, join us for our next live stream, which is going to be on the 10th, because Sarah's DMing. And Sarah, what are you doing?
My God, it's very exciting. Sorry.
I'm doing a playtest of the Daggerheart 1.3 rules. So we're going to have a little fun fantasy.
They're already on 1.3?
They are on 1.3, yeah.
I love that. That's good, though. It's like really responsive. I will tell you, I forgot that I was the one who like made our Discord. So I thought I was playing this at first. But anyways, I have to be in every channel. And I am a chismoso. I'm a nosy person. So every person that's like shared their sheet or talking about it, I'm like, damn, now I wish I was playing. It looks really, really interesting, and they've done some hard work there to make a system that is familiar enough to most models of popular ttrpgs, but distinct enough to definitely be its own thing. It looks like a very interesting system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. I don't think it's too early to announce that, of course, I mean, we're only a month away from June, and June means Pride. So our two live streams,
real gay up in here.
Our 2 live streams in June are going to be, we're planning on them to be charity streams. We will announce what that charity is going to be. Sarah and I are both running a stream each. I know mine, I'm calling it Helping Himbos, and the system is called Himbos of Myth and Metal. So it's just going to be a bunch of people being real sexy and real gay, and yeah, so it's going to be a good time there. Yeah, I don't know if Sarah wants to reveal anything, but I'm just excited. So
no, mine is going to be full of gay pirates, and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, always. So again, thanks everyone for joining. And go out and play a new game, please.
Go to your LGS, find a book, ask them for a recommendation. If they don't have one, tell them to hire someone who knows more.
Yeah,
don't do that. But just pick one random if they don't have a recommendation.
Don't be that asshole, please.
Yeah, don't be me, because that's how you get banned from a store. I've never been banned from a store. I'm not a character. I play a character.
Yes. Anyway, thanks for joining, guys. Again, happy 1 year for Streaming Rainbow, and we will see you next time. So goodbye, enjoy, good night, and stream.